This is CNN Breaking News.
That's the same.
The friendship is the role of the people, not as but the fact that the people
But has it always
could not be more grateful, not only for your service over it, but also for the powerful
The leader that we're gonna present you today is Aung San Suu Kyi. Maybe you have known her before, but let's get a little bit deeper though. To make it comfortable, we're gonna present it in a portrait style. But to make it more simplest, let us tell you a story in a cartoon style then. Suu Kyi was born in 19 June 1945. Is a Burmese politician, diplomat, and author, who is the first and incumbent state councillor and leader of the National League of Democracy of Myanmar. She was also known as the Meadow Flower of Myanmar, because she is the only one who insists to call for a democratic system and fight for her country about a decade. Suu Kyi was the youngest daughter of General Aung San, father of the nation of the modern-day Myanmar, and her mother Kin Kyi, a Burmese ambassador. Aung San Suu Kyi was born in Rangoon, British Burma. She was graduating from the University of Delhi and the University of Oxford in obtaining a BA degree from philosophy, politics, and economics in 1967, followed graduating with a third and MA degree in politics in 1968. Then, she worked at the United Nations for 3 years. She married Michael Aris in 1972 and gave birth to 2 children named Alexander and Kim. But now, Michael Aris has died because of the cancer in the year 1999. In 1988, she arrived in Yangon to look after her sick mother, and in that time, Myanmar was in the midst of major political upheaval. Aung San Suu Kyi rose to prominence in that time and became the General Secretary of the National League of Democracy, or NLD, which she had newly formed with the help of several retired army officials who criticized the military of junta. In the 1990 elections, NLD won 81% of the seats in the parliament, but the results were nullified, as the military refused to hand over power, resulting in an international outcry. The government gives an offer for Suu Kyi to end up the role of politicians and get back to England to live with her family, but she refused it, which the action stimulated the military to extend the imprisonment time. 6 years later, Suu Kyi was released, but not so long. The military is confined her again with no reason, and this time, the custody took about 18 months. Then, she was released again in 2003. While she went out for a meeting with a citizen, an incident happened when the objections and the government were encountered, which made the military use this opportunity to lock up Suu Kyi again. Finally, in 13 November 2010, the government has to release Suu Kyi due to the pressure of the international critics. In the same year, she met Kim, her youngest son, for the first time at the airport after she didn't saw her family for a long time. Even though the battle of elections in Myanmar is going to lead by NLD, but the route for Suu Kyi to be the prime minister is not that possible, because the constitution of Myanmar has written that the person who has a couples or relatives which does not belong to Myanmar nationality cannot take the post of the prime minister or election party. To be summarized, people support her idea for a democratic country. For a long time, the country of Burma was ruled by the military. After General Ne Win stepped down, Aung San Suu Kyi was the person to address all the people that wanted democracy. People like her way of thought. Suu Kyi lives by the Buddhist lifestyle, a non-violence way of thinking and acting. People see the peace in her. She lives for peace and democracy. Even after being put under house arrest for numerous times, she will stay calm and act with reasoning. She got a Nobel Prize for her peace, freedom of thought. The money she made from it was put into establishing a health and education trust for the Burmese people, getting more popular in the process under the Burmese citizen.